So Linda, welcome to our head office here in London. It is so fantastic to finally meet you. I'm really looking forward to the conversation that we're going to have. I know we're going to talk about a number of different topics, but what I would really love to do first is maybe just hear a little bit about you and your journey to where you are today.
So me, it's not been a straightforward and straight journey to where I am. I class myself as an accidental CEO. I was just sitting in the office one day in October 2016. I've been at the Institute since 2007. I went there on a 3-month contract to take them through the process to become a regulated awarding organisation. Did that, stayed on, developed new qualifications. Did that, stayed on, developed apprenticeships. Did that, stayed on. You're on the payroll now. And loved it, absolutely loved it. I love the profession and all that it does for society and the economy and businesses. And was therefore, at the time in 2016, was the Director of Professional Development, and they asked me to step into the shoes of the CEO. Tell me about you, Julie.
I mean, so I'm in the industry just almost 4 years, and again, sort of a different type of story. I worked in financial services for about 20 years, and I think I was having a bit of a midlife crisis, and decided that I would do an MBA, Linda, and that I wanted to move into a different industry and really try my hat at something completely different. And I wanted something that was tangible and that was service driven, because I love food, I love hospitality, and an opportunity came up in Sodexo as the MD for the Irish business, and I jumped at it. And then about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, I took over as the CEO for the UK and Ireland for the corporate segment. And in terms of, I suppose, everything that we're seeing at the moment, facilities management, workplace, what do you think, I suppose, the industry can bring to companies and to be it public or private in the environment that we're operating on? Like, what's the value that we can bring?
I fundamentally believe that workplace and facilities management transforms organisations, enhances the way that we experience life every single day. I get tired when people sort of put everything into boxes. To me, it's irrelevant whether you're private sector, public sector, not-for-profit, office, not in an office, etc. When you look at how you experience life, we as human beings, how you've experienced it is all down to how well workplace and facilities management operates. And if we are to save this planet, it is this wonderful profession that's going to do it. So we transform businesses, so we are the ones that are the enablers of business.
Yeah.
We are impacting on organisational performance. We are moving away from it only being a procurement of a contract and driving down the cost. With the social value portal and the FM plugin, so organisations can now have a measurement of the social impact they have of delivering facilities management, because it impacts people. So stop cutting the costs, stop squeezing the margins, because at the end of that is a human being.
Yeah.
So Julie, what are the sort of challenges that Sodexo are facing, especially with your sort of client base, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said, we've had to adapt a huge amount, Linda. I think if I'm really honest, I think the biggest challenge that we're facing at the moment is around people. So I'd be really keen to get your thoughts on this.
Sure.
But I mean, for us, it's about attracting and retaining talent so that we can serve our clients and our consumers. And I think, one of the things, particularly in hospitality, we lost so many people because of, I suppose, COVID and chefs putting down their knives and going into different industries. And I think that has been a huge challenge for us and continues to be. So, we're doing a lot around employer brand and that, but I think there's probably more that we can do as an industry from that perspective. I think the other piece is I have to say it, we're in a high inflationary environment, energy costs, food costs, and it's across everything.
Yeah.
So we are working with our clients as much as we possibly can to help mitigate some of that, but it's not all, can't mitigate it all. And I think, as you say, going back to delivering value for our clients and coming up with innovation and technologies to help that is something that we're absolutely doing. But again, it's trying to make sure that our clients understand the environment that we're operating in as well, because it is unprecedented. So they're probably two of the biggest challenges. I think from an opportunity perspective, though, we talked about technology accelerating over the next number of years. We've done a lot around some service development, which I see technology as an enabler. It's not the silver bullet, but it is absolutely an enabler to help us with efficiency and to allow us get our people out to serve clients and be sort of front and centre as opposed to doing jobs that maybe, as I said, we could potentially use technology for. So, I mean, there's lots of challenges, but I'm an optimist, so I'm always looking at what can we do differently?
Yeah.
What are the opportunities in terms of service development? From our industry perspective, and you said it at the start, facilities management, workplace, food services, we play such an integral role in other organisations. So it's, of course, we have to attract our own people and retain them, which is a challenge. But then we're also a huge enabler to our clients in terms of them attracting. I mean, the amount of clients I'm talking to at the moment and who have changed the way they're operating, or we're operating for them in terms of things like free food and that, all trying to get their people back in to the office so that they can maintain the culture.
We, as an institute, did polls ourselves. Whereas when all of a sudden you could start going back to a workplace, and we sort of did the poll, and it was quite clear, and sort of men were the first ones to say, I'm going back to the office. And it was the women who found that they could organise their lives greatly by being at home, because invariably the caring for a family and a home invariably falls on the shoulders of a woman.
Yeah.
Now, what then happens is when you go back into a workplace and the old-fashioned way of working, i.e. in an office, all there together, if women are not there and not seen, are they going to be missed for the opportunities for promotion, development, engagement in decision-making, etc.? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're not here today.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not here
presenteeism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that organisations must keep an eye on. So how is your sort of the food elements of Sodexo, the crisis, the energy crisis, how is all that sort of coming together for you?
Do you know what? It's really interesting. What we're seeing with our clients, which we probably weren't seeing as much of before, Linda, is this sort of flight to quality, right? So it's quality of food, but also quality of experience. So I put the two of them. We have so many clients now that are looking to completely change how they're bringing people into the office. Every single client I'm talking to is saying, help us bring people in. There's not one client that doesn't seem to want it. And one big way of doing that is actually by bringing, delivering fantastic, beautiful food and coffee, which is very, very emotive. And I think that's what all of our clients are looking at now. We have a lot of clients that are now offering their employees free food as well, because they see it as a real way of getting people in, and employees see it as a real perk. So it's a way of not only getting people back into the office, but actually attracting and retaining talent as well. We've had to change how we operate food. We've needed to be much more agile in terms of how we operate our services, because as you can imagine, you could have 200 people in on a Tuesday and 500 people in on a Wednesday. And to be able to deal with that sort of complexity has meant that we've had to change our operating models and bring about things like off-site production and just different ways to operate. But as you said, food is Sodexo's heritage. It is our, that's where Sodexo was born. And we are very, very, very passionate about it. And we've brought about some fantastic brands that are meeting the needs of corporates, education, schools and universities, because, as I said, people are seeing the value that food brings. I mean, people want to come into the office to collaborate. They don't want to come into the office to sit behind a computer. You can do that. You can do that at home.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they also want to come into the office for something that they can't make maybe at home, right? So about creating those spaces and environments with really fantastic, beautiful food is just such a compelling reason for people to come in. And thankfully, our clients are seeing that, and that's where they really value. So we're in a high inflationary environment at the moment, but actually our clients, they understand where we're mitigating, but also they're not looking to pass that cost on to employees because they want to bring them in.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a really, really, really interesting time, and I think food is evolving, technology enabling that experience is evolving. But for me, it's very simple. It's about serving beautiful, beautiful food. And having a fantastic service delivery. It's that human touch, it's that smile, it's that, but as I said, you can't do that without having the right brands and the right food behind that. Linda, thank you so much. It has been great for you to come in, for us to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been great to meet in person, and thank you so much. And as I said, thank you for coming to our London HQ.
It's fabulous.